One. All right. Welcome back, everyone. The whole cast is here. And if making content out of content is wrong, I don't want to be right. Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. Back to consistency, everybody. Now, crazy week for everybody involved here. We've had computers crashing, things getting dirty, dogs needing to go to the emergency room. And that's just outside of the movies. Usually that sounds like the plot of a very bad B movie that stars Sylvester Stallone, where he's like, "You're not going to kill my dog." I don't know who that was. It wasn't Stallone. All right. So
Dog.
that was the dog. That was the dog. All right, Josh, why don't you start with what you were watching this week?
I'll tell you what I was watching. I'll tell you.
You better.
I was watching.
You better do it.
This is a movie that was like kind of, I think, the beginning or right before COVID. So it kind of fell into that black hole where I just never got to see it. But I saw a trailer one time. I've always wanted to see DAVEMADEAMAZE. I saw it on YouTube's. And first of all, it's like every trope of a student film it has. It's just a really cool student film. I can't really explain it.
This is the third time you've used that in student like 5 episodes, I think. Am I wrong, Jordan? Because we said a couple episodes ago he'd done it twice in a row, and now this is the third time I've heard you say this has all the makings of a student film.
Are you like?
Yeah, I think you're just attracted to us. I think I'm gonna have to go back into our history, but I think this is like the third time in like 5 episodes where you said some. I don't want to say it's that exact statement, but something to that extent. I'm like, Josh has a type. Josh has a type of movie that he is attracted to.
I definitely do have a type. That's a good point. And maybe...
Don't we all?
I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, it's a weird movie.
I think
it's kind of like a John Malkovich where it's just weird. And I think this is one of those movies that I really like. Thanks for honing in on that. Because it starts off with just the boyfriend makes a cardboard castle in the living room. Girlfriend comes home. What's this? He says he's lost in there. Blah, blah, blah. It ends up this cardboard maze is a huge, gigantic, ever-expanding labyrinth. Once you go inside, you're, like, lost. So that's the whole thing. And they're trying to find him. They're trying to find their way out. There's a minotaur made of cardboard. It's, like, incredible. The whole movie is shot inside a cardboard maze. And every time they go into a new scene, it's artistically incredible. It's like Meow Wolf. You ever heard of Meow Wolf? That real place.
Of course, I've been to Meow Wolf.
Yeah, they have one in Denver. I think OKC maybe. But,
Santa Fe.
It's one of those where
Meow Wolf?
The museum.
Meow Wolf is like it's an interactive museum. So it's all like all different kinds of art shoved together, like very surreal and working.
Lots of modern.
Lots of stuff. You like there's a room that's like decorated in a certain way. Then you go in the closet, and that's like a secret hallway, and you lead somewhere else. All that kind of stuff.
Like 3D glasses and stuff.
Yeah, music. Cool. It's like fully interactive. It's incredible. So it's sort of like that. This movie. Every scene was just a new styling, even though it was just all cardboard. It was put together in an incredible way, and the plot was interesting. It had Rolf. I don't know if you remember Rolf from The Office, like the guy with glasses. Anyway, he was like a side character. Dwight's friend Rolf.
Oh yes, okay. Now I know who you're talking about. With the pipe, he won the Nancy Kerrigan Oscar. And he came in with a sandwich delivery.
Oh, no, that was the redhead. No, Rolf was a different guy who... Anyway, long story. He's in it as a documentary. So they're documenting the whole thing. People are dying. But, like, when they die, they get their throat slit. And it's, like, confetti that's red. But the maze ends up being alive. There's a lot to it. I couldn't tell you what it's about. Except for self-exploration. Anyway, beautiful movie. I give it a popcorn and 2 beers. That was really long. Sorry.
No, I loved it. When you said, I suppose they're lost, then I was like, and then Matthew Fox comes out. All right, so what was
very
next?
Funny stuff. Then I watched just a garbage fire called Fantastic Four. It's the one with Michael B. Jordan. And it was the first time I've seen it. I just really kind of just passed on it. wasn't for me. I could tell, and I was right because I watched it last night, and oh boy, like they don't even get their powers until 3/4 through the movie, and they have one fight scene where they use their powers, and the government turns the thing into a mercenary. Like, what's going on here? What are they doing? What are they even doing? It's like the longest origin story of all time. They did a really bad job. That's all there is to it. And the CG was poop.
With great actors, too. With a great cast.
Great
and
cast,
they just threw it away.
And, like, another thing, I'm really scared of this, because twice now they've failed at creating a good Doctor Doom. He's one of the best villains in Marvel, and I think he's coming up soon in the MCU, and I hope they do a better job with him.
They have to do something about the Jonathan Majors problem they have right now. They've got to figure out how to handle this while he is waiting for his day in court, because it's not going to stop.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff. We'll see what happens. Speaking of superheroes, I also watched the Invincible Adam and Eve Spectacular Special or whatever. Adam and Eve on Amazon Prime. A little short episode supplementing the series. Season 2 of Invincible's coming out soon. Wonderful movie. It really got into the origin story of Adam Eve, the character, who is one of the coolest. Really good origin story. They expanded on it in a huge way. The animation was cool. The fight scenes were really impressive. She makes constructs, kind of like Green Lantern in some places. And it was really creative what they did with it. I like just about everything about it. The original was one comic that was like 4 pages long, really short. And they turned that into a 1-hour special. Really good job. Can't wait for season 2. Popcorn and 3.
Pop and 3. I think the show was a Pop 2 from Jordan, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think so.
Because I know you reviewed it.
Yeah.
Pop 3 for the movie. And Jordan, you also saw Invincible Adam Eve.
I did. Good voice acting, as the rest of the show does. Lance Reddick plays one of the agents that's in charge of the superhero force or whatever. Tatiana.
Is that R.I.P. Lance Reddick?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tatiana Maslany, who is She-Hulk, plays a voice in there. Jacob Tremblay, if you know who that is, he's the little boy in any movie that has a little boy. Good music in it. A really awesome, as you mentioned, really awesome fight scene in there. It's really good. It added a lot of depth to her character and really showed off her powers. It's her kind of coming into her powers, figuring them out. But it doesn't take too long. She just kind of figures it out pretty quickly. Yeah. I like that. Moved along. A lot
stronger than you think.
But it's just, I'm going to give it a popcorn and a beer.
Oh,
ooh!
It's good. It was good though. It was good.
Ooh, dissenting opinions.
I mean, where you guys would probably have gave the whole series overall a popcorn and 3. I gave it a pop 2. It's good, but it's just not my popcorn and 3. It's just
keep an eye out for the next season. The next season. Speaking of great voice actors, they have the trailer for the next season, and that's how they end the whole trailer is like showing all the voice actors. It's like 30 pretty big names.
Yeah.
All throughout the season. And they're already working on season 3 just to get it in the can, or it's underway or it's already done. I'm not sure. So
they did the voice acting. The voice acting is done. Yeah.
Yeah. Omni-Man's coming back, baby. And then my last movie I think we've all watched, correct?
I think so.
This week it's a new one on the Netflix. They cloned Tyrone. What do you think of that, Frye? Or I'll say popcorn in 3 and then go.
Pop in 3. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was popcorn.
Pop plus 3. Jordan, what about you? Let's just give it all away. Give it away now.
I gave it a pop 2.
Pop 2. I gave it a pop 2 as well, actually. So we're all up there. Josh is throwing out the pop 3s today. He's like, you get a pop 3. You get a pop 3.
I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling great.
Feel good. You're in a good place.
Yeah, I thought it was really great.
I wrote it down
already. The dialogue was incredible. Jamie Foxx put on a new character, and he's just perfect for that character. I like the premise. I like the way it was executed. I think it was a spin on what would ordinarily be some sort of Black Mirror type episode, and it got dark, sort of like that. But it has more or less a good ending, and I thought it was really impressive, and probably a sequel, maybe. I don't know. I'm excited for it.
It definitely has a sequel coming, I think. So you thought it had a good ending. I thought the ending kind of ruined it, to be honest. The ending is the exact same ending as a movie that Jordan and I have discussed rewatching on here because it's such a crazy movie. What's that movie called? Thank You for Calling.
Yeah.
It's not Thank You for
Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to Bother You. Yeah, it's the exact same ending as Sorry to Bother You. If anyone's familiar with that film, it's literally the exact same ending, right? So because of that, give me 1 second.
Yes, no.
I text you no. I said that's why I asked you to do it.
Back up. I'm gonna kick you.
Okay.
Back up, homie.
So anyway, yeah, like I said, it's literally the exact same ending as that movie where they release all the African American or Black people that they've been experimenting on into the streets, and it's the exact same ending.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no originality here. It's literally scene for scene, shot for shot, the same ending of Sorry to Bother You, and that pissed me off because the movie was great. And the thing is, the reason I knocked it down even further was because after that, I started to hyper-examine it. I was like, wow, they took a lot of pieces of a lot of different movies to make one movie.
Totally.
Yeah. Like, and I was like, that's kind of lazy filmmaking to me. I'm not saying it's not a really good movie, but to me, that's super lazy. You had a shot to have a really good original movie, and then the more I examined it, if they had never done that, I wouldn't have hyper-examined it, probably a pop 3, right? But the fact that they went shot for shot of that movie, I was like, now I got to look back at this movie and see all the scenes they took. I will say, when he's on the phone and he's telling him, hey, yo, I'm down here in the basement, homie, roll through. I'll be kicking it down here for a while. Like, that made me laugh audibly out loud because I found that he had his feet kicked up on the desk. It was a play on the January riots. I'm sure they would deny it, but none of us are stupid. All right, I saw exactly what you were doing. You're calling it out. It's a deep contrast. What did I say? I said drugs, pimps, clones, and chicken. Don't eat the spicy chicken. The church elevator scene was laugh out loud funny. And then it all came down to, Kiefer Sutherland, mind control, and Sequenzu Ocha. Who knows what that is?
White Devil.
White Devil.
White Devil.
That's what it was at the end of the day. Sequenzu Ocha. That's all I could think of. Like, literally, I said it out loud when Kiefer Sutherland pops out of the car. I was like, oh, Sequenzu Ocha. So it was great to see Kiefer Sutherland. But for me, just because it was a great film, like you said, Jamie Foxx did great. Jonathan, I think it's pronounced Boyega. Is that how you pronounce his name? Boyega? Yeah. Unrecognizable as Tyrone. I thought that was great. But at the end of the day, lazy filmmaking is going to get me every single time. It's going to take some originality or really blow my mind for it to be a pop 3. And they just took too much. So pop 2. Jordan, what about you?
It was
sorry. Did you want to retort, Josh? I apologize.
I just wanted to add on Boyega specifically, but all 3 of the main characters hit their characters so well. And I for some reason kept drawing parallels between Boyega's character and like Conan the Barbarian. Like, all of his decisions were very like straightforward, walk through the wall type decisions, and he stuck to it like throughout the movie. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, to your point about the lazy filmmaking and all that, taking bits and pieces of other movies. It did seem like they cherry picked a little bit of the best aspects of a lot of these kind of sci-fi, Black movies that have been coming out lately, this genre. And, I think it just has a little bit to do with the pressure to make these movies be well received. There's a very high bar with these kinds of things to where if it's not, then they just won't make these movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they won't put the resources in to make these. And I think, I think I could give it a pass for that. I still give it the same review you did. for slightly more intangible reasons, it just didn't feel like a pop 3 to me, but it was a very good movie. I love the goddamn chicken. I always love the fake brand names that they come up for these
like Dynamite had the malt liquor, right?
Yeah.
But what else is that from? Next Friday. So, I just started hyper-examining it. I was like, oh my gosh, they just took pieces of, like, the best pieces of all these movies, like you said, Jordan, and that's literally the only reason I knocked it. I enjoyed the movie thoroughly, but then just that lazy filmmaking started to get to me. I was like, I can't in good conscience give this a pop 3 because of that.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Gotcha.
I loved the blockchain, crypto savvy argument that Yo-Yo and Jamie Foxx have. As you said, Jamie Foxx is 2 for 2 for Netflix movies. I think he only has one other Netflix movie out.
Daylight, right? Not Daylight.
No, Day Shift.
Day Shift.
I really like that movie. That was a good one to me. It probably not a good movie, but I really enjoyed that movie. So yeah, Jamie Foxx 2 for 2 on Netflix. Get better, Jamie Foxx. I know he's got some stuff going on.
Get better soon, please.
Yeah, John Boyega was great. The girl, her name is Tiona Paris. I'm not gonna refer to her as the girl. She was good. She was really good. I had to go and look back at her filmography. She doesn't really have the face that you recognize yet, but she is in a lot of really big movies. So get her out there. Kiefer Sutherland was a surprise. He was really scary and good in his role.
Yeah,
I loved it.
My favorite line is when they're in the elevator and what do we don't spelunk. White people spelunk. We're spelunking.
Nothing about this seems murdery to you.
Man, they had such good lines. 1995 Penthouse Playboy of the Year. What is that? What he said?
No, pimp something.
Play his ball.
Players ball. Pimp of the year. Yeah.
1995.
That was good.
Yeah, pop 2.
Yeah, the epiphany too at the end where he's like, "Damn, I never was Players Ball Pimp of the Year 1995. It feels so real though."
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful movie. Beautiful. I love that. I love all that.
So Jordan, what were you watching?
So with all the crossover that I watched, you guys, what original thing that I watched? Let's see. I watched Twisted Metal on Peacock.
Okay.
The season 1. Yeah. It was if you don't go into this with high expectations, like at all, which you shouldn't, from like the way it's from the way it's been the trailers and the way it's been advertised and stuff, you shouldn't have high expectations watching this, so you'll be satisfied with the what it is. The source was it's a video game adaptation. It's just weird and wacky and kind of, over the top is what it's supposed to be. You get the action, the gore, all the references to the game, the Easter eggs. They jam that in there. It's very short, 30-minute, or some of them are less than 30-minute episodes, 10 of them. So you get in, get out, get your bad jokes, your over-the-top gory action scenes, and your show reference. You get about one of each in each episode. And so you walk away from everyone, fairly satisfied. It's shallow, but they do a good job. They quickly build up the world. I love Neve Campbell.
She's in it.
Yes, she is kind of the bad guy lurking in the shadows with their bad, hidden intentions. Anthony
the puppet master.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Anthony Mackie makes the most of this role. He is good. Yeah. So
he's a perfect pour in this role, or no?
Is he
I don't know. It's just not a good role. It's not well written. None of this is well written. But he just.
So he makes it though, is what I'm asking. Like, it's not a good character, but because he's acting it, it goes okay.
He hit it just right.
Yeah. He just looks like he's having a good time and really likes and enjoys this role. So it brings you into it.
Can I ask how many times he said, "Oh, hell no"?
I wasn't counting, but I'm sure it was a few. I mean, keep in mind, this is the same guy that played Tupac in Biggie Smalls' Notorious movie.
Yes, he
and
did.
It's just him with his camera going, "Hey, what up, y'all? It's Tupac." Again, great music in this show. Every episode just has like, oh man, I love that song. I need to go back and listen to that right now.
Okay.
Terrible CG for no reason. They just put like random things in the show that are CG'd when they don't really, I don't think they have to be. And they do a terrible job at it. One episode has a long shout out to the movie Blank Man, which is one of my favorite.
Is that Keenan Ivory or Damon?
Damon,
okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite nostalgia bad movies, but I really enjoyed that. The show gets a popcorn, but I like it. It's a good popcorn. It's a watchable. If you like Twisted Metal, you're gonna think this series is okay. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna think it's all right. Yeah. That's all I watched besides our Butter on Top and our Drunk Classic.
Okay, so on to me, and thank you guys so much for covering last week. I had to catch up to everyone, so I watched The Condemned. And I want to let everyone know, The Condemned led to an argument between Jordan and myself. Jokey argument. We never have serious arguments on here. But Jordan made the statement. He made the statement, a powerful statement, that Nickelback at the end of The Condemned is the best song placement ever.
Boy.
I didn't say it's the best ever. I said it's all time. It's all time is the word I use.
And that made me laugh so hard. When I read it, again, audible out loud laughter. I was like, what? That's the corniest thing I've ever heard. That's literally what I thought. But it's so on the nose, and it's so you, because you're just like, just tell me. Tell me exactly what I want to see. I need this closure, and that song gives you closure at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know that prison door opened up for him.
Yeah. Perfect.
But that did make me laugh. And on my review, I did give it a popcorn and 1. It is a fun movie. You guys really loved it.
I loved it.
After watching last week's episode. But it is a prison fight, racist, sexist, misogynist. The old, we're all being manipulated, we gotta kill, but I want to get out of here movie. Not a ton of plot. It's a movie we've seen a lot. Very Con Air-esque. In fact, what's funny about this is, Jordan, before you ever messaged that, by the way, in my notes, you ready for this? Right. Nickelback at the end, LOL. That's what I put as the way it ends. But it is very Con Air-esque. It is set up to just be a blood and guts and gore movie. It actually led me to a movie that will be a drunk classic for me later on. I want to reveal it, but I'm afraid you guys will go watch it and ruin the point system we have going on right now. So I'm not going to drop it because I don't think you guys have seen it. I'll drop a hint and let's see if you guys can guess it. Benicio del Toro and Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, the knife one.
Oh, the knife. Yeah, Josh is close. Josh, because he knows what movie I'm talking about.
Fighters. The Hunted or something?
Yeah. Oh, he got it. Yeah. Okay. So the cat is out of the bag. But yeah, The Hunted is a movie. So Jordan, like The Condemned was for you, The Hunted was for me. I probably watched The Hunted while I was in high school like 15, 20 times. Like, I loved The Hunted. I thought that and The Fugitive, I thought were amazing movies. Yeah. Now, that being said, I also caught up with you guys on Barbie. I watched Barbie and set design. Wow. Amazing set design. Greta Gerwig brought it. Lots of jokes. Subtle. Some not so subtle. Lots of down with the patriarchy. Again, subtle. Not so subtle. Matchbox 20 had me rolling. They had so much Matchbox 20 in this movie. And it was hilarious. Like, every time the Kens took something over, it was a Matchbox 20 song. Like, the Kens take over Barbie Radio, and it's a Matchbox 20 song. I'm not giving away any spoilers. You'll know it when you hear it. When they're singing to the Barbies on the beach, it's a Matchbox 20 song.
That's hilarious.
That was just, it was so funny every time. It was very on the nose. I thought it was a lot of pink. So much pink with a great message that lots of people are like, oh, it's so in your face. Yeah, it has to be. Because you assholes aren't listening. You're not listening. Instead, you want to deflect and you want to give us whataboutisms. So you know what Greta Gerwig did? She said, here, in your face, I'm going to tell you, this is how we feel. And I supported that message.
It's getting woke in here.
It's just people don't want to listen, and they want to defer to it's so woke, as opposed to why is it so hard to just listen to somebody that's feeling oppressed? Right. Why is it so hard to just listen? Mm-hmm. So I gave it a popcorn and 2. I thought it was a very fun movie. There were quite a few laugh out loud moments. The soundtrack, though I made fun of Matchbox 20, is very, very good. It's a solid soundtrack. What's her name? America Ferrera crushed it. She's always funny, though. I liked her in Superstore, too. Ugly Betty. So, popping 2 for me. And then Oppenheimer, I agree with Jordan. Pop 3. I'm not going to crush it too much. The dialogue was amazing. The pacing was amazing. The score was amazing. The actors were amazing. Again, not naming all of the actors. It's very funny because they talk about how they're not going to share information with the communists in Russia. Well, For All Mankind is a show on Apple TV that explores the universe where we do, in fact, team up with the Russians and what could come of that. It is eerily terrifying, even before the end. Lots of it is terrifying as far as our future is concerned. And, again, very heavy-handed. Filmmakers are being very heavy-handed. What's the one with Adam McKay that came out just last year? It was very heavy-handed.
Where the office building's all weird?
Don't look up. Very heavy-handed. Like, the filmmakers are tired of things. They're tired of people not listening. So they're going to be very heavy-handed. And the line at the end where I believe I have, where Oppenheimer responds to a walking away Albert Einstein, I believe I have. When you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I could agree to. And I think that we're on the cusp of that again. If these old, I'm sorry to use this term because I know we have some that watch our show. If these boomers don't realize, hey, learn from history. Guys, you guys are going to kill the world. You're going to kill the world. You're going to kill everyone because you want a legacy of death. Putin, China, America, like the biggest powers in the world are going to destroy the whole earth, and Oppenheimer really leans into that. If we don't learn to get along, it's going to be over. If we don't learn to get along, it's going to be over. It's going to be a completely the end of the earth. But RDJ,
game over, man.
I love that. RDJ, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect pour from Robert Downey. I mean, he's definitely leaning into it a little bit, so maybe not quite, maybe a little bit ahead at the top of the beer. But for me, I think it's going to be his Oscar nomination moment. Both him, Matt Damon's going to get nominated. Gosh, now the lead actor's name just ran away from me.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy is going to get nominated. I don't know if any of the females in the film, I don't think Florence Pugh will. I don't think Emily Blunt will. I just don't know if their performance were... They're powerful, but they are not on screen long enough. Does that make sense?
Right.
You get more Emily Blunt.
Supporting actress? I think either of them could get supporting. Yeah.
Maybe Emily Blunt. I don't think Florence Pugh will.
Yeah.
She only has like 2 scenes.
Get an award.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly, Josh. And when you see it, Josh, you'll see Florence Pugh only has 2 scenes. Now, they're powerful, awkward scenes, as Jordan alluded to. Like, there is a sex scene where the reading of a book occurs. That's kind of like, that'd be a weird experience. That's a very, is that how intellectuals do it? Yeah. But outside of that, it was a very strong movie again. Popcorn 3. The sound design was amazing. Tons of turmoil. Loved it. Now, to the shows that you guys did not watch. Dave. Big time show. Big time celebrity cameos this season. Brad Pitt makes an appearance this season. Just to tell you how big the cameos are on Dave. You can tell that FX is really on one. Their shows are really picking up steam. However, this season was much more of a letdown than the other seasons. You have to be really into awkward to like it. I love Dave. I love his music is funny and it's poignant and it's really a show about his journey and like how he really believes himself to be the best rapper alive and how he wants to be taken seriously, but he finds himself in a lot of awkward narcissistic situations where he just can't overcome himself to get there. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, keep going.
Okay.
I had no thoughts there.
Okay. I gave it a pop too because the first 2 seasons were great. This season starts off in the awkward, and they just sit in it for so long. But there are some great performances. Gaeta is fantastic, as always. His struggle is fantastic. In Season 3, they really lean into it. He's probably the best part of Season 3. Outside of that, maybe the Rick Ross Usher episode was very good,
Well,
but it's just very awkward. He has a song, Mr. Rachel McAdams, in it that is very funny. And it cost him a relationship. It costs him a relationship where he actually did fall in love, because the whole thread of this season is Dave's looking for love. And he actually costs himself love because of who he is and his personality and mannerisms. But overarching, for all 3 seasons, popcorn and 2.
Nice.
Cool.
So, Platonic. Seth Rogen's show. Seth Rogen's Apple TV 10-episode show. Platonic is a funny show. It's very Seth Rogen. And if you know Seth Rogen, you get exactly where I'm coming from. There are laugh out loud moments in the show, but overall, it gets old. It gets repetitive. There are some funny scenes with scooters that make you laugh. Seth Rogen and Rose Byron do have great chemistry. Luke McFarlane plays Rose Byron's husband, and she's not necessary, to be honest, or he's not necessary, to be honest. He doesn't add anything. He just makes the show a little bit more awkward, and they try to give him a storyline that's a little bit more aggressive towards the end of the series, which really destroys the series. They don't focus too much on Seth Rogen's life. It's very much about Rose Byron's life. They just go a little bit into it, which didn't make sense to me. And I guess the show was, I thought when I got into it, it was supposed to be from both perspectives, right? But it's really from hers a majority of the series, and it's only 10 episodes. Aisha Wainwright plays Seth Rogen's ex-wife, and she is a treasure every time she's on screen. She's hilarious. Her reactions, like, you could totally tell that she is pulling from a place of she's probably had an overzealous ex-boyfriend before. Because every time she's on screen and she's mad at him, it's perfect. It's chef's kiss. Great. I gave it a pop 1. I don't think it's getting a season 2. They really, when they try to tie it up really quick to end it, like, okay, gotta end this. Like, let's just end the series. That's what they did with the 10th episode, and it just wasn't good. So, a pop 1 for me there. Now, Secret Wars. The long-awaited return of the human Nick Fury in the War with the Skrulls. I'm just gonna rip this Band-Aid off. Pop 1.
Whoa.
It started off very strong and ended very soft. CGI was terrible in the final episode. Emilia Clarke was refreshing. I'm glad to see Khaleesi back. She will be moving forward. It looks like the Thunderbolts will have a Super Skrull, and it will be Emilia Clarke, so good for her. I'm happy she landed that, but not good. The Bear, Season 2. This is a show that if you can't deal... Josh, I know you've worked as a line cook in a kitchen, so this might give you anxiety. This show might give you anxiety because it's intense. Lots of corner, lots of behind you chef, lots of yes chef going on in this show, but it is intense. It's a great show, very well written. I give it a pop too because it's not perfect, but it's a very good show. It's very well acted. I'm just going to give one character that I really enjoy. I really enjoy Jimmy's story because Jimmy is a tryhard, and I can support a tryhard. He doesn't do a lot right. He's not very smart, but he tries really hard, and he really loves his family. And you can see that in the way that the actor plays the character. So, pop 2 for me. On to our drunk classic. Yeah. Sorry, I guess I'm the rapid speed guy when it comes to these reviews.
Rapid speed.
But we watch them all, so there's a lot going on. It's been about 2 weeks. Now, Drunk Classic was mine, Foxcatcher, and I'm bringing down the tone of the show a little bit because this movie... It weighs heavy on you as you watch it. And as a former athlete, it gives you a look to the inside of what it's actually like when you truly want to be the best and how soul-crushing it can be. And then it gives you insight into somebody that could never be that level of great, wanting it so bad and having more resources than the actual person that's able to achieve these things, and using these resources to live through the person. And then the storyline here is Steve Carell, playing DuPont, becomes viciously jealous of not just Mark, but his brother. And he needs to be the show. He needs to be the reason why they're great, not just the man behind the greatness. And it progresses in a way that becomes sad and hurtful and dreadful, but amazing. The acting, the story is so good. nominated for 5 Academy Awards, right? Though it is dreary, it is so well acted that it keeps you sucked in to the movie the entire time the movie's going on. And I will say this, in my opinion, Steve Carell is a perfect pour. I thought he crushed DuPont. And when you read the actual story that happened here, how he filed under... He pled not guilty for reason of insanity, pardon me. And man, did he sell it the whole time. I was creeped out by Steve Carell's character every time Steve Carell's character was on the screen.
Yeah.
Just creeped out every single time. And he totally took advantage of Channing Tatum's need and want to matter, right? To be someone as great as he viewed his brother. So I gave it a popcorn and 3. There's a reason why it was nominated for Best Picture. Josh, I'm going to go to you first. What did you think?
Just to keep it concise, popcorn and 3. Steve Carell and Channing Tatum, both perfect pours. It was just amazing. It's so deep, so complex. I had the privilege of not knowing anything about the movie besides wrestling. So the direction the movie took was, it really had my jaw dropped the whole time. It's not a story you can make up. This shit happened. It went down like this, and it was just such a wild story, and it was executed so perfectly. But aside from all the places it went in the beginning, it's a sports movie. It's about wrestling, and it does such a good job of conveying what it's like to be a wrestler, what it's like to be someone who's like borderline on top, like alone on the mountain. Not that I've done that, but I've been around people like that.
Yeah.
But what it's like to be a wrestler specifically. I loved how like it starts off with him and his brother just, yep, well, you here, you ready to go? And then there's no dialogue really. They're just wrestling. And like it's showing that stretching routine. I would pay someone $200 to stretch me out like that. And then like he busts his nose, not really anything about it. Like it happens all the damn time. Let's get back to wrestling. That's really what wrestling is. Like it's rough. You know the motions that go through. It's redundant, and anyway, it's so much cool. Popcorn and 3 movie, dude. It was just Steve Carell. That's all. Sorry, I'm out.
That was what you wanted to get into in the pre-production. You said I have notes on Steve Carell, and your note was.
Man. That dude, he couldn't even towel the guy right. You remember that? He couldn't even use the towel properly. And I love how they showed that highlight. And I love the camera shot where Channing Tatum's almost always like on the floor. You see that shot throughout the movie, and it means a different thing each time you see it. Brilliant movie.
Yeah, I give it a pop 3 as well. I had known a little bit. I saw this movie more closer to when it came out, and I knew a little bit about this story, and I knew where it was ultimately going, but I didn't know the details on when when he does when he actually kills him, when he commits the murder, the crime.
When he kills Mark Ruffalo?
Yes. I was like shocked. I was like, whoa. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's somewhat unexpected, but it's coming. So you're like, okay, the end of the movie's coming. When is this going to happen?
You have a problem with me?
Yeah. It was a bit shocking. And this movie is a very, it brings a fog kind of over you watching it, but it's super, super well casted, and it's funny that he just so happens to be, Steve Carell happens to be playing DuPont, just a terrible family, terrible history there.
They poisoned New Orleans. Or not New Orleans, but Louisiana.
Like I was saying, there's a connection there. Mark Ruffalo, maybe that brought him into playing that role later on, is his exposure to this role. In the movie Dark Waters, he's playing a lawyer who goes after DuPont. So I thought that was an interesting connection there. Steve Carell. The scene where they're doing the photo shoot, and he's kind of like got to be like in front of him, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reason.
It's so cringy. Just all the little antics and things he does to just be, a leech. Just the worst, just leach
His
you can
friends
be.
call him Golden Eagle.
I have that written down. Call me Eagle, or Golden Eagle, or John, or Coach.
Incredible.
Good movie. Popcorn and 3. Great pick.
Yeah. And how about the horse metaphor? Did you guys pick up on the horse metaphor in there?
Go on with it. Tell me.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So the mother has her thing, her athletes.
Oh, yes.
Her athletes are horses. And he treats the wrestlers as it progresses like they're his horses, culminating in the slap of Channing Tatum, and he calls him an ape inside of his house. So he there's a metaphor there where to him, to the wealthy, these people are his animals.
Right.
Yeah. Right, and even so far as to put the trophies next to the horse trophies, like they're his trophies, like he's earned them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was also interesting. It's deep. It's a deep cut.
Deep.
It's a deep movie.
So deep, buddy.
So two happier things. Josh and Jordan, you were both able to get to Haunted Mansion. It's not out here. So Josh, why don't you lead us since you were able to get to the Butter on Top this week?
Yeah, I finally got to see it. There was an early showing in the city over next to me, so that's cool. This is a nice palate cleanser after having watched Foxcatcher for sure. It's fun. It's spooky. It's not scary. It's spooky. It's a fun Halloween movie that we'll probably watch again and again. Not like it's an instant classic. It's not there, but it's it's good enough.
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield, best dressed character I've ever seen in my life. He was sharp every scene.
Yeah.
He had a different hat. Fedoras are making a comeback somewhere. Not me.
And in Oppenheimer too.
Yeah. People are saying that. What about Stanzo fedoras? Anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis was strangely animated, but cool concept. I don't know. It was a fun movie. DeVito's in it. The ghosts are cool. The CG is good enough to be. It's really pretty, and they do a lot of cool things with the house, the haunted house, all kinds of cool things. It was fun. The fun in the way that a Harry Potter movie is kind of fun, not as deep or good as a Harry Potter movie, of course, but the fun part of Hogwarts is this movie, but scary. Watch it. Why not? It's a popcorn, it's a popcorn, I guess.
Okay, Jordan.
Yeah. It's an improvement from the original Eddie Murphy one, I believe, for sure. I never really liked it. I think I saw that one time. Haven't seen it since it came out. When is that? Probably 10 years ago that movie came out.
A lot more than that, I'm sure.
Forever ago.
More than that.
Maybe 15.
It was a good needed improvement, I think. For a movie that's based on a ride.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you expecting to get? It was good. Look, bullying is wrong. It's a little bit of a theme in this movie. The little boy has trouble making friends and whatnot, but it's like, come on, the kid is dressed like a ventriloquist dummy throughout the entire movie. I'm like, who is dressing this child? Like, she's like, oh, my son keeps getting chased home. Yeah, I'm like, kid, come on, like, just. And I'm gonna get past that because bullying is bad. Period.
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield acted the hell out of this role.
He did actually, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I'm a big fan of Lakeith Stanfield.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, even in some really odd roles like Sorry to Bother You, which we mentioned earlier. Just he's good.
One of the bad guys in that cowboy movie, Harder They Fall.
Yes.
Yeah. He's fantastic
really
in The Harder They Fall.
Yeah. Hey, make him the new
there you go.
Kang.
Yeah.
Who?
That's
Not
perfect.
the body type. He's got to really yoke up, but yeah.
If the kid from We're the Millers could do it.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So apparently Jared Leto, he's in the movie. He plays the Hatbox Ghost. You can't tell it's him at all.
Yeah, at all.
But apparently he's just been method acting. We don't know this. He's just been method acting all along to play this role as a soulless parasite demon. Because in real life, he's into some real funky, weird, inappropriate stuff.
And he does weird TikToks too. He's weird.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. So, hey, I not giving him the benefit of the doubt here, but maybe a perfect casting for him.
But in reality, like, why did we even need to cast him? His voice it didn't sound like him. It was completely CG most of the time. Like, didn't look like him. I don't know. Acted like him though. You're right. Yeah.
maybe he needed some work, and
maybe so, after
they just
Morbius.
were like, okay, we can't show his face, and it can't even.
Yeah, we'll give him a check, and that's his quote. He gets the $2 million.
Yeah, we get to put
even
his
if he does a
name
bad
on
job,
the
you have to pay him that
on the movie.
Yeah, we get to put his name on it. It'll draw maybe some people that are fans of Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Some good innocent humor. Definitely, it's not, like you said, it's not a classic, but I could definitely see myself adding this into my October rotation.
In the 30
making it a staple.
Day.
Yeah.
That's
CGI was
good jokes.
CGI was okay. It was okay at times with as much CGI as was needed to put this movie together. They did okay at times. Sometimes it was bad. Sometimes it was pretty good. I'm going to give it a popcorn and a popcorn. I'm going to give it a popcorn. Yeah, it was good though. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
So a couple popcorns for the butter on top.
Shout out to Rosario Dawson in the very beginning of the movie. She sees a ghost instantly, and she's like, "Nah, let's go."
Yeah. Well,
Disney is using the hell out of Rosario Dawson. They must have a contract with her somewhere because Ashoka is coming out. I think I pronounced that wrong. But Ashoka, is that how you pronounce it? Ashoka. That's coming out here probably in the next couple months.
Yep.
So I love it. As much work as you want to give Rosario Dawson, I'm down. She's great. She was also in DMZ with Benjamin Bratt, which was I think I reviewed. And that was a fun show as well. Now, we've got some stuff coming up. The butter on top will be an animated feature. So this is the first time I think we've had 2 animated features as butter on tops in a span of 4 movies. It'll be the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, written by Seth Rogen. Very interested. I loved the trailer, and it's coming on the back of a great Spider-Man movie. Now, Josh, you get the Drunk Classic. What are we watching?
I do, and it kind of.
Wait, should we go over the points?
Oh, the points, yes.
For those of you that are playing at home, I'm just kidding. But we started our own little game here where it's like golf scoring. The low score wins. So far, I've got 0 points. So I know Josh is going to throw me a fastball. I'm fully expecting it this week.
Trying.
Jordan got a point for Wet Hot American Summer. I hope somebody's taking notes down because I will begin to forget what movies everybody got points for. So Jordan got a point for Wet Hot American Summer. Josh got a point for Red Dawn. Josh got a point for The Condemned. Josh got a point for Foxcatcher. Josh is not someone you want to take to mini golf with you, but it is his Drunk Classic week, so he will not get a point this week.
Yep, I will not get a point this week, and I'm gonna try to throw you. I have some guaranteed fastballs. I know you haven't seen, Frye, but it's not the time to watch those movies. I'm inspired this time a little bit by Ninja Turtles, and also I was thinking, you guys both got to give me at least one really cornball movie. So I'm going to throw one that's just all cheese, and it's called Bunraku.
What?
With Joshua Hartnett. Yes, Bunraku. It's a kung fu movie with a huge cast. Demi Moore is in it. Josh Hartnett's in it. Super artsy-fartsy, really cheesy kung fu movie with highly stylized practical effects and cardboard cutouts, and it's wacky and wild. You can catch it on YouTube if nowhere else.
Bunraku.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got a point.
I
already know I've got a point.
I've
never even heard of this movie.
Oh, Josh Hartnett. Can't wait.
I like Josh Hartnett too, also in Oppenheimer.
It's all cheese. Oh, he's in Oppenheimer. That's great.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you tuning in every single week. Thank you so much. And as always, we will see you back at the movies. You bring the popcorn. We've got the beer.